I'd just like to point out number 8 in the homework before we go on to part B. So the B is the 7th, coming down to the 5th, the 3rd, and the root. Now be careful, you can't change the B to B flat. That would be the easy thing, right? You have C major with a B flat, but the B flat is your given, the B is the given note. So instead, I have to make it C sharp, E sharp, G sharp, and then I have a B. A 5th down from C sharp is F sharp. All right, let's look at part B. Wir Christen Leute, we Christian people. All right, is what that means. So remember to analyze the chords and the NCTs at the same time. Most important thing really is to get your key. Okay, 3 sharps, I would think key of A, but I'm seeing E sharps all the way through. So that is a 3rd down. Remember, if my A is here for the major key, the minor key is the next space down. So key of F sharp minor. All right. You can also tell because it starts and ends on a 1 chord, the beginning of the phrase and the end of the phrase. The last phrase, I'm just going to look at that here. Sometimes it's nice to outline that first, is C major, so that is a 5 chord here. Okay? Let's continue to look. This is not in the 1 chord, and it looks like it's passing right up. And in the tenor, I have also the same thing. Staying on the 1 chord here, and then C major with the raised leading tone. So there's my 5 in root position. I add a 7th here, or you could write passing tone if you like. And here is the C stepping up to the D, but it's D major. So that is a 6 chord. Surprising. Remember that whenever you do 5 to 6, you double the 3rd. There, now you can see it better. Sorry. So here is the leading tone going up. Here's the 7th going down. Get in the habit of labeling these all the time. Okay, so we end up with a doubled 3rd. If that leading tone tried to go down to D, I'd get an augmented 2nd. Wouldn't be good. All right. Now, while we're at it, we're supposed to also talk about the voice leading in the 2 5/7 chords. So here's a 5/7 chord. Let's talk about the voice leading. The leading tone went up. The 7th went down. As I just said, that caused a doubled 3rd. Okay? This 7th, the approach to the 7th is passing from the C sharp down to the B down to the A. All right. The second phrase of the 3, I am in the key of F sharp still, and this is a B minor. That's a 4, but it's in first inversion of 4/6. This is not in the chord, but it makes it lovely. Passing tone. And here we are going to what looks like an F sharp in second inversion. So that means it's a 6/4. It has to be one of our 3 types. First of all, it has to be a 1 or a 5. That's correct. Doesn't look like a passing 6/4 because this is not a chord tone. It does look like a cadential. Yep, here's the 5. And we already said this is the 1. Parentheses, bracket, and put the 5 down there. And this little guy is a lower neighbor, just to decorate. Okay, so here's the 5 chord, and at this point we end up with a 7th, similar to how the tenor added the 7th previously. And the whole chord is similar in how it's voiced, but the resolution is not, because he's doing the very similar phrase but taking it to its logical conclusion of a 5 to 1 the second time. You'll notice that if you play that. So what does he do here? He uses a frustrated leading tone. That's because he wants to make the 5/7 complete and the 1 complete. And you remember we already talked about that being the only way to do it, with a frustrated leading tone. Okay, fermata to take your breath. Going on with the 1 chord. And then this is a little bit interesting. This looks like a suspension, doesn't it? So the F sharp against the G sharp, that's a 7th, and stepping down, 7-6, and that makes this whole thing a 7 diminished 6 chord. Now, you possibly might have said that this was a 2 and that this was a 7 diminished, but probably better to keep your suspension here, okay? And then we're back to a 1 in first inversion, passing, and on to a 5. All right, the only other thing to do is lead sheet symbols. Be sure you check all these directions. They cram a lot in there. So, in F sharp, this is F sharp minor. We're going to do slash chords where we need them, but we don't here. Stays on F sharp, and then C sharp, and it does have a 7th. Then we go to D. Then to B minor. Sometimes it's a help to do this as you go, so you know what chords you're dealing with. This is a D in the bass, and then back to F sharp minor, but this is the 6/4 chord, so we have a C sharp in the bass, the 5th is in the bass, and on to C sharp itself, back to F sharp minor. And then this is E diminished in first inversion, E diminished 6, E sharp diminished 6, and slash G sharp, taking us to F sharp minor again with the 3rd in the bass, the A, and ending on C sharp. All right, there you have it.